about luxury today. So what we do is we usually layer up our costumes, and we make sure all this is done in the dark. So that way it can look like a real dead person underneath here. And meanwhile, while he gets into his costume here, I'm going to take the report.
Okay, Brown, what's the situation?
Well, Sarge, what we have here is every patrolman's worst nightmare. An old lady who swallowed a fly.
I'm getting too old for this shit.
Well, apparently she swallowed a horse.
A horse? How the hell did she fit a horse in there?
Well, according to the report, she swallowed the horse to catch the cow. And before that, she swallowed the cow to catch the goat. She swallowed the goat to catch the dog. She swallowed the dog to catch the cat. She swallowed the cat to catch the bird. She swallowed the bird to catch the spider, which, according to eyewitness testimony, wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside her. This fly was just the tip of the iceberg, sir.
We're really in the eye of the shitstorm now, Brown. Any word on the motive for the fly?
We have no idea why she swallowed that fly.
My God. This is worse than that homicide on the bump of the log at the ocean of the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, that was a really messy one there, Sarge.
Oh.
Anyway, that's our scene there.
Yeah! You played a really good bit, Jerry.
Okay. Of course, because this is a comedy show, we gotta make sure we gotta put a priest in there somewhere. I think I found just the spot. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I will now do a reading from the book of Leviticus. Yea, and when the Lord finished passing the holy sacrament, he turned to Peter and said, "Prepare my beer keg." To which John did cry, "My Lord, you mean you have had beer this whole time and not told us?" Then Luke stood up and said, "Yea, Lord, what gives?" Then the Lord saith unto his disciples, "Liquor before beer, ye in the clear." Then the Lord said, "Let there be Coors Light." He then instructed his disciples, "Prepare thy beer pong game, and let the teams be 2 by 2, and I shall prepare the list for future teams to play." But lo, Matthew did miss his target, and the holy beer pong ball landed beneath the table. Then the Lord said, "Find thy ball, and dip it in the holy water to cleanse the dirt that it did catch." And they did as he asked, and there was much rejoicing. What can we learn from this passage? What can we learn from Matthew missing his target? Have we not all missed targets in our lives? I know I have. And haven't we all at one time or another had to dip our balls in the holy water to cleanse them? I know I have. And now, as we partake of the holy beer pretzel, let us pray for the most perfect head to our most holy draught. Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Get out of character.
I'll wait. Hello, and welcome to History Today. Tonight we have with us Dr. James Doctor, Professor of History at Legacy College. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Now, tell me, Doctor.
No, please, call me Professor.
Of course. What, in your opinion, is the most important thing that we can glean from history?
Well, the most important thing about history is that it's behind us, and we don't have to worry about it anymore.
But surely, Doctor...
I mean, have you ever read a history book? Oh, so boring. It's the same thing regurgitated time and time again. You know, U.S. wins the war, JFK gets shot. What I suggest is add a little creativity to these things, and I think I have just the answer right here. It is called the Choose Your Own Adventure History Textbook. Now, you can change history with a turn of a page. Let me show you how it works. You are Abraham Lincoln. Your wife, Crazy Mary, and Colonel Rathbone have invited you out to a night at the theater. Do you go with them, or do you stay at home?
I'm sorry, Professor, I really
I know,
don't see
please,
that.
call me doctor. And pick one.
Okay, I'll stay home.
Stay at home, 156. You stay at home. Do you go out for a walk at the presidential garden, or do you go read a book in the study?
I'll read a book.
The book that you pull off the shelf has opened up a secret passage. Ooh. Do you go down the passage, or do you stay and read the book?
Secret passage.
You encounter a guardian troll. Do you fight the troll, or do you run away?
I'm sorry, I'm still Abraham Lincoln.
Do you fight, or do you flight, Mr. President?
I'll fight.
You defeat the guardian troll, and you discover that he is guarding gold from a giant who lives in a nearby mystic cave. Do you keep the gold you have, or do you go for more gold?
I'll go for more gold.
You come up to the entrance of the mystic cave. Do you go through the front, or do you take the secret passage around the side?
Ooh, secret passage.
Oh, you enter into the giant study, and the giant sees you. Do you run away, or do you fight the giant with a robot steampunk spider nearby?
I'm sorry, a robot steampunk spider.
Excellent choice, Mr. President. You defeat the giant, and as you explore his cave, you discover a magical singing harp and a goose that lays the golden eggs, but you can only take one with you. Which do you take?
Well, I've always been a fan of classical music. I'll take the harp.
All right, 596. John Wilkes Booth assassinates you in Ford's Theater.
Oh, motherfucker!
Please call me doctor.
Oh my God.